Hello and welcome to my contribution to the Halloween collaboration for small creators. I am going to make a set of these skull coasters, but not just that, I am going to decorate them up afterwards. So please hang around to watch the whole video to see how I'm going to decorate them. Now, I have made a set of these before. These are brand new this month, and I made some for this particular collaboration, but I wasn't happy with them, so I've trashed them. I've not trashed them, they've gone in my junk box. The only reason I'm mentioning that is because the previous project involved, I used the baby lotion technique from Daniel Cooper to stencil some cats. So you can see there that it has affected my mould. So the only reason I'm mentioning that I've made them before is to say there are going to be some cat imprints. You see how obvious that is. So I am not happy. So leading on from that, I have made a second set of these, and yes, I was right, it did leave an imprint. However, that set has also gone in my junk box. I won't bore you with explaining why. Okay, so I will be back in a moment when I have mixed up some resin. Okay, my resin of choice is craft resin. I have mixed up 220 millilitres because these take about 110 each, and because I'm going to cure them in my resinous G3, I only have room to comfortably do 2. Once these are in the G3, I'll mix up more resin to do the other 2 and the coaster holder. And I am doing them with the black pigment paste from Let's Resin. The whole set is going to be just this pure black, apart from the decorating that I do on the coasters themselves. So I am just leaving these for a few minutes. I've split it up roughly to 110 ml each. I'm just leaving them to degas a little bit and hopefully not get a flash cure. Okay, I'm not getting many bubbles rising in the cups. I'm just going to go ahead and pour. So I'm doing it straight onto this so that I don't have to worry about trying to move them afterwards. Okay, before filling them, I'm going to run round with a toothpick to make sure there are no trapped bubbles in the edges. Now, you shouldn't really use a toothpick because you don't want scratchy mould, but I'm only going into the very corner, so any scratches shouldn't be visible, and even if there was, the moulds are already ruined because of those cats. Looks like there's a couple of bubbles popped up here. Right, I'll babysit these for a little while before I actually put the curing machine on. Give chance for bubbles to rise before the accelerated curing process begins. So I'll be back. I guess I won't come back for pouring the resin on the others. I guess I'll just come back when all 4 coasters and the stand are ready to demould. Okay, see you later. Third time is a charm. There is a little line of micro bubbles that rose up there and I didn't catch them in time. This one is fairly perfect. A little anomaly there. This one, a little anomaly there. Now this is one of the first 2 are cured, and this is the other one of the first 2 are cured, an anomaly there. I did actually leave them outside of the curing box for a good 20 minutes at least, so I'm surprised that they've got so many bubbles. These didn't, sorry, the first 2 stayed outside of the box a good 20 minutes because then I poured these. So these stayed outside of the box for a good hour and a half to 2 hours, because they went in the curing box after these had cured. So again, I'm surprised that there's any anomalies. However, it is still an improvement compared to the last batch, and I will now show you the last batch. But here is the back side of one of them, and look how many bubbles rose. But I then top coated them. First issue with that, it made it these too fat for the stand. So then I had to sand the insides of these, make these wider. But then, after all that effort, I found that there was an issue with my top coating. So see how I didn't get it 100% to the edge there. A gap appeared there. So that's just one example of why they went wrong. So I am well chuffed with these, despite their little anomalies. Okay. I've put gloves on to make sure that I can't leave any fingerprints, because I love how shiny these are. Because of either the cat imprints transposing onto the item, or the cleaning or attempting to clean off the cat imprints, I left well, smudgy markings on the mould. So that's why they need top coating. However, rather than do a big chunky top coat like I did on the last set, I'm hopefully going to do a thin one on this set. Now this mould set was from Temu for £5 odd. I've just bought another set. You can get them from Amazon for quicker delivery for like £12. But I've decided that seeing as I've already gone ahead and made these again, I'm not in a rush for the delivery. See that one? You can see the whiskers. Even more so on that one. Now I've seen YouTubers put their pieces, look at that, pretty perfect, no holes, no, you know, no holes on the 90-degree corners because of a bubble that didn't get removed, if there were any bubbles needing removing even. So I've seen YouTubers put these this way and then have their coasters sat like that or like that. But when I actually went to order the new set, I looked at the images again and I saw that they have it the other way around. So this is slightly underpoured, so that's going to be my underside. Right, let's see how fat these are without a top coat, because when I poured the first two sets, they were extremely wobbly side to side, so I thought I had plenty of space for a thick top coat. But yeah, they are quite wobbly, but I think I prefer them like that. Not that that matters yet. Well, it sort of does, because it affects. If I was going to just top coat this head, which I wouldn't, I would top coat the whole thing anyway, but at least the head thickness doesn't matter. But if I'm going to store them like that, the head thickness does matter. So I'm a little bit worried now, how am I going to do this top coat thin so that they don't end up too thick for the stand. Right, there is another option. When I did the top coat on the other set and then needed to sand in the stand, I realised I had some polish, some gloss polish, and because of sanding inside here, they were all dull, so I remembered I had that and I decided to spray them. But then I tried to clean it on here with alcohol. So with that side, I didn't protect anything. I just sprayed all over. But then I saw imperfections appearing. So I tried to clean it off with alcohol, and that's how that ended up looking. This side I covered with tape and then sprayed. So I covered all of the exposed area so that the spray would only get into the inners. But obviously if I need to spray the top, I'm scared to spray the top. What I'm thinking is, if with that spray, clean this up so that I don't have to top coat. And show surfaces to be painted are free from loose paint, rust, wax, oil and grease. Some previously painted surfaces should be abraded to provide a better key. Do I need to lightly sand them? I don't want to sand. Or do I leave them as they are because I am going to be decorating on them? It's just that my decorations might not fully cover the anomalies. I've got an idea. I've got an anomaly on this. I'm going to test spraying on this one. Okay. All masked up. Yeah, I'm going to spray it all over so that I can see if it clears up the anomaly and see if it affects the... I know there's a couple of anomalies up there as well, but see if it affects this smoothness as well. Smells like pear drops. Okay, so I don't like how it looks like it's put that wrinkly texture on. Okay, so touch dry in 20 minutes. So I shall see you soon. Well, it's been about 35 minutes and I am happy with that. It's still left a sort of a texture, but it's got rid of that anomaly and it will save me the extra resin, the time and the hassle of top coating these and then having to shave the slots in the stand. So I am going to go ahead and spray all those and then I'll be back with you later. It's almost meal time, so these will actually be left for a couple of hours. Okay everybody, here is a closer look. Now then, let me just confirm that these are going to fit in here nicely. Right, I really like that. That's not all, keep waiting. I can't resist getting my spider gels out again. I will link my Halloween playlist so that you can go check out my Halloween spider gel videos. It's tempting to pick your favourite colour every time, but I've decided to mix it up. I'm going to use red matte, gold matte, pink glitter and blue glitter. So I'm going to do the coasters in with a different colour and possibly do a bit on this as well. I don't know yet. Then I've also got something potentially in mind for after I've done the spider gel. So it might not just be spider gel. Okay, I shall put you on a time lapse. Okay, I have just done another experiment on my spare one. You cannot use alcohol spray to clean after you have used that gloss spray. So I'm going to have to be very careful with keeping these clean. Right, I have decided to do some on this as well. I'm going to use my matte white. I have to decide if I am going to elevate this project further, so I will be back with you shortly. I am liking this. Right, on to the final stages now. I have decided that I am going to go ahead with one final decoration, and this is where it might go horribly wrong, but I can't resist. So I am going to, I have made these little spiders. As you can see, they haven't got legs yet. I am hoping I will be able to make some legs, but I was going to stick them on regardless of whether I can make any legs or not, but now I'm starting to think, no, it'll look bad if they don't have legs. And I know I haven't made these proper spider webs, but I'm seriously running out of time to make this video. It's now the 20th, and it's going to get harder to clean up if I go wrong in the middle with not being able to use alcohol. Here we go. Wish me luck. Whilst I start doing this, before I move you on to a time lapse, again, this is part of the Halloween collaboration for under 20,000 subscribers, or channels with under 20,000 subscribers, organised by Claire at Claire's Crafty Corner. The playlist link will be in my description, so please check that out. Please support all us young creators, small creators. Thank you very much. I will move you on to a time lapse now. Guys, I'm so proud of that spider. Oh my. Right, okay, even on time lapse, I won't put you through the punishment of watching that done again for these four. So I will see you for the final reveal. Actually, before I do the legs on these, there is something different I need to do with these, and that is make it look like there is a piece of web coming all the way through for its legs to stick to her. Right, now I will do the same with these and then put the legs on and then be back for demold. Right everybody, before I do the final reveal, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers, anybody who watches, likes, comments. I'm very grateful to you all, and thank you Claire for inviting some small creators, or all small creators, to join in your collaboration. It is much appreciated. So I'm just going to very briefly show you the finished products before I move on to the official glamour shots. Thank you again. Have a good week. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.